Right. Good morning, everyone. All the online students, is that the screen is visible? All the online students, could you please everyone respond in the chat window? I request all the online students need to respond in the chat window. All right. Perfect, guys. Let's get started then. Right. So the one we have been discussing about this particular playwright automation. As part of this particular playwright automation, we understand that particular basic program, and then we have been started in discussing about that particular medium level of the programs here, right? So as part of these particular individual programs, as part of these particular perspective of individual programs, first we got understand that the first program of open application and close application. Then we got understand that login, logout, and then playwright configuration file, and then manual browser, manually open the browser and close browser. And then we got this particular code gen tool, verification, test data, mouse over, frames, alerts. Right? Now, continued with the same, we need to understand that keyboard actions. Right with the new heading, right with the new heading, mention that keyboard actions. Okay. So what exactly mean by these particular keyboard actions and how we need to get work with these particular keyboard actions here. Okay. So what exactly mean by these particular keyboard actions and how exactly we can work with these particular keyboard actions here. Okay. Let's see that. Let's look into that. Okay. See the concept here. Assume that requirement is you want to perform the click activity. Okay. To perform the click activity, as usual, it will be taking with the playwright. Okay. So which will be taking with that particular playwright. Otherwise, you will be using that particular perspective of option 1. Option 1, you will be taking with using click. Then you will be taking with option 2, using keyboard. So keyboard, how you will be doing the click activity, tab, and then you will be taking enter. That means, let's go with our application. I'm entering username, entering with the password. We are already automated this. Clicking on the button, we are already expertise it. But now what we are doing, rather than using with the click method, rather than using that particular click method, you will be taking with the help of, rather than using that particular click method, you will be taking with the help of that particular respective of. Okay. So rather than you will be using that particular click method, you will be taking with the help of keyboard action. That means from the keyboard, okay, from the keyboard, you need to perform tab. From the keyboard, you need to perform the tab. So once you have been done with the tab activity, once you have been done with that particular tab, then it will be taking with enter. Once you perform that particular tab activity, then it will be performing enter. Okay, so this is what it will be taking with this particular automation. Not only tab and enter. As an example, I mentioned. So this is how we need to be get understood how exactly we can perform keyboard actions. But you may get in a doubt, sir, already we have a click method. Why I need to go with the tab and enter? Forget about automation. In general, you guys will be working with the web applications or you guys will be using some applications. So you can perform the actions by using the mouse. At the same time, rather than using the mouse, I can use the keyboard also. The options has been available. Which option need to be used? That depends on the user. Based on the user comfortable, they will be utilizing that particular required option here. Now, the same concept has been applied in automation also. The same concept has been applied in that particular respective automation also. So while working that particular respective automation, that particular respective automation also, that particular same concept has been applied here. Okay, so which you will be taking with that particular same concept has been applied. So based on that particular user comfortable, which you will be taking with, right? Which you will be utilizing that particular respective of options here. But as a automation tester, we need to understand. Okay, so as a automation tester, we need to be get understanded, right? We need to be get understanded how exactly we can perform these particular different kind of activities. So using with the click method, we are already knowing it. Using with the click method, we are already knowing it. Right? So now we need to be get understand that it will be taking with these particular respective steps here. Right. So in this way, we need to be get mentioned that it will be having with these particular respective of syntax need to be get understand. Let's see that what exactly that particular syntax here. Okay, let's look into that. And apart from that, another advantage. So while working these particular keyboard actions, another advantage. We got another advantage is while working with the playwright, playwright is supporting for only web-based applications. Right? So Playwright is supporting or we can automate only web-based applications. Now, if I'm taking with these particular respective keyboard actions can be performed. Okay, keyboard actions can be performed for web-based, and window-based applications. Web-based and Windows-based applications. So keyboard actions can be performed for web-based and window-based applications. So that is what it will be having another advantage. Okay. So while working within the playwright, so how you can perform keyboard actions? Very simple. It will be taking with keyboard API. Inbuilt keyboard API is available. We doesn't require to go with any of the new external code. Just it will be using with the two method names that it will be mentioning that particular keyboard dot type. keyboard dot type. This is to enter data. If you want to enter data, then you will be taking keyboard dot type. Then you will be taking with keyboard dot press. And then you need to be get provide that particular key details. Which key you want to press? Which key you want to press? You need to provide that particular key details here. So which key you want to press it, you need to be get provide that particular respective key details here. So that is what you will be taking with these particular respective of keyboard API. So this is what I will be mentioning that I will be taking with these particular respective of keyboard API here. Okay, right. Let's see that how you will be working. So to understand this, let's go with test steps here. Then you will be getting the more clear picture how we can continue or develop automation script. I will be taking with test steps. So if I'm just taking with these particular test steps, if I'm just taking with these particular respective of test steps, see that. First, I will be taking with these particular respective of the test step. First, I will be mentioning the launch browser. Then enter URL. After that, perform tab. Then enter username. Then mention perform tab. Enter password. Okay. Perform tab. Then click on perform enter. Next. Perform tab for 2 times. Then perform enter. So everything you are doing from the keyboard. So just everything you are understanding that how exactly you can perform that particular keyboard actions here. So as a automation tester, you need to be get comfortable all the required options here. So how exactly we can perform these particular keyboard actions, that is what we are looking into that. Now let's see that how exactly we can automate all these particular respective steps here. Okay, so if I'm just taking with these particular step, if I'm just taking with these particular respective of the steps. So here, this particular one, let's see that. If I'm just taking with these particular respective of the steps, let's go with first launching with the browser. Enter URL. Then we are performing tab. Hmm. So let's see that which I will be taking with this particular tab and then enter. After that, it will be taking with entering that username and then tap enter password. Okay, then you will be taking with login. Now we are performing the tab for 2 times because I need to click on logout. First time, second time. Then enter. So as simple how we need to be get perform that particular keyboard actions. That is what we are understanding. Okay, let's see here how exactly we can write that particular program. So what are all that particular steps need to be done here? Hmm. Okay. So steps will be the same, guys. We'll be following with our regular process only. Let's see that. First, let me create a test case. Test folder. It will be taking with new file. Then you will be providing that particular file name. TC underscore. You will be taking with the file name TC underscore, which you will be providing with the file name that you will mention the keyboard dot. You will be taking with the spec dot ts. So keyboard dot you will be taking with spec dot ts. Okay, done. So now writing with the program, that particular steps will be the same. If I'm just taking with this particular one as usual, first I will go with import and then test. Then you will be taking from playwright. Okay, done. So as usual, you will be taking with the test method and then you will be taking with enter that particular URL. So after that, here you will be mentioning that you will be printing with the statement application open. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to be get perform tab. We need to be get perform that particular tab. So for that, see how we are writing. So which I will be taking with await page dot keyboard dot press. Only two methods we got it. One is type, another one press. Press means which key you want to press, you need to provide that particular key details here. So for understanding purpose, I'm just providing that particular wait statement. Okay, so now I need to go with the enter. I want to enter username. I need to be get go with enter username. Enter username from keyboard. So from keyboard I want to enter. Then I will be taking with page dot keyboard dot type. Keyboard dot type. Okay. After that, again, it will perform the tab. Then, once you have been performed with the tab, again, you need to be get enter password from keyboard. You need to enter password from keyboard. After that, you will be taking with the tab, which need to be get go with perform tab. You will perform the tab. Then you will be taking with enter. So which you will be performing enter. So once enter has been done, we need to be get perform the tab for 2 times here. Please be very clear, guys. You need to be get perform tab for 2 times. You need to be get perform that particular tab for 2 times. Second, repeat the same code. So that particular tab, I can go with in repeat that particular same code here. So which I will be taking with, which I will be mentioning that in repeating that particular respective of same code. Okay. Otherwise, we can take with the help of the loop concept. So that is what I will be taking the logic, which I will be taking with the perform tab for 2 times. Okay. Now I can just repeat the same thing. Otherwise, I'm just taking with for loop, which it will be taking with that particular respective of for loop here. Okay, so after that, it will be taking with that logout. So then it will be taking with perform enter to take that particular logout. So this is how you need to be get go with in mentioning that it will be taking with these particular respective options here. So in this way, we can go with in utilizing these particular respective options here. So as simple, we are understanding how exactly we can perform all that particular keyboard actions here. Now we can see that. So first we got imported test model, then created test method. We got open the application. Once application got open, performing the tab. Okay, then we are entering username and then perform the tab, enter password, perform the tab, click on enter. Once you click on enter, perform tab for 2 times here. You need to be get perform, you need to be get perform tab activity for 2 times here. Once you perform that particular tab for 2 times, then you will be taking with enter. Okay. Now let's see that how exactly we can execute it. Open in integrated terminal. The command will be the same. npx, you will be taking with the playwright and then test. npx playwright and then taking with that particular respective of test here, which you will be taking with, you will be having this particular one, and then you will be providing with the file name tc underscore, which you will be taking with the test. So then you will be taking with that particular tc underscore, you will be taking with keyboard dot spec dot ps, and then you will be taking with headed mode. Okay, so this is what it will be containing. Now we can see how the execution will be done. Okay, now we can see that. So your result will be the same, but previously we done with the playwright predefined methods. Now the same thing we are doing from the keyboard. So first tab is done, enter the username, tab is done, enter the password. Now it will take tab and enter. Okay, so now tap for 2 times, log out and then enter. So this is how you will be taking with that particular keyboard actions here, which you will be taking with application open and then taking with login completed. So now, while working with the keyboard actions, no concept of object identification. Because you are using keyboard, so as you are using with the keyboard, there is no concept of that particular keyboard actions here. Okay, so let's see that. Let me try. I'll just execute once again. Just see that how exactly that particular execution has been done. It will be taking with the tab and then enter. It will take with the enter. Then it will be taking with the password, enter, then login. Okay, so then it will take with the tab for 2 times and log out. Close application. So this is how you will be taking with the option in performing these particular keyboard actions here. Okay, so in this way we can do that. So you can combine that particular keyboard actions. You can go with like you want to perform Control C or Control V or Alt Enter. So you will be just adding that particular respective of plus symbol and then you will be taking with that particular one. Now whatever that keyboard combinations you want to use it, you can go with in utilizing these particular respective of keyboard combinations here. So in this way, you will be taking with the help of these particular keyboard actions here. I mean, when you work with that particular real time, So while working that particular real time, is it really you will be working or not? That is a secondary. But as part of the learning, we have to look into all that particular possibilities. So while working within the real time also, in case if you are facing any major difficulties in that particular object identification, you tried with all the options here, you tried with all the options, but you are not able to find that particular object. Then, in the worst cases, if you because of not able to identify object, we cannot stop the automation. So we can take with the help of this particular keyboard as a workaround option. We can utilize these particular keyboard actions also here. Okay, so this is what it will be working alerts concept and then taking with these particular keyboard concepts here. Continued with the same thing, another interesting one we need to be get understand that it will be taking with drop down and checkbox. If you want to be get automate that particular drop down, so how exactly we can get automated? If you want to be get automate that particular respective drop down, how exactly it can automate? Right with the new heading, mention the drop down and check boxes. So because as part of automation tester, first we are getting comfortable. So how we can get automate each and every particular functionality. So how exactly we can get automate each and every particular functionality here. So that is what we have been understanding. First, to get in a more clear picture, make a note of that particular test steps. Make a note of that particular test steps here. Okay, so that particular test step, let's see the steps. What are all the steps need to be done? So taking with that particular first step as usual, mention the launch browser. Launch browser. Then you will mention enter URL and then enter username and then enter password. After that, click on login button. Click on login button. So now you will be mentioning that select employee ID from select employee ID from search by drop down. Select employee ID from search by drop down. Okay. Then you will be taking with enter employee ID. Enter employee ID in search for. Enter employee ID in search for text box. Then click on search button. Click on search button. After that, click on checkbox. Click on checkbox. Then you will be taking with click on delete button. And then you will be taking with click on logout. Finally, you will mention close application or you will be taking with browser. So this is what you will be mentioning that you will be taking with these particular steps. See the steps how you need to automate it. First, you will open the application. Then you will be taking with this particular username. You are entering that particular password and then taking with login. So once you have been done with that particular respective login, once you have been done with that particular respective login, okay. So if I'm just taking with this particular respective of login, it will be taking with this particular respective of drop down. Search by drop down. So that particular search by, it will be selecting employee ID. Can go with anything which you will be able to take this particular respective of employee ID. Then you will be taking with search for, you need to be get enter that particular respective of employee ID. Click on search button. Once you got click on search button, you will click on the checkbox, you will click on delete. That means indirectly you are understanding how exactly we can automate delete employee test case here. Previously, you got understand that the automating the test case of add new employee. Add new employee. In the same way, you need to be get go with delete employee test case here. That you will be taking with logout and close the application. So how exactly we can automate this particular drop down? Let's see that. Let's understand how we can do it. For that, first we will be taking with drop down. First, we will be taking with that particular respective of drop down. Let's see here. So if I'm just taking with this particular respective of drop down. Okay. So if I'm just taking with this particular respective of drop down. So how you can select the values from the drop down? So how exactly we can select values from the drop down is first we will be taking with option 1. If I'm taking with that particular respective option 1, so here you will be using predefined method. That means as part of that particular playwright, everything we got in a predefined methods only. Now, while working with the drop down also, while working that particular drop down also, we got in a predefined methods that we will be mentioning them. Right. So which I will be taking with the predefined method, mention the select option, which you will be having that particular respective of, you will be using this particular respective of predefined method, which you will be considering that you will be taking with select option. Now, for this, you can provide visible text. You can provide visible text. That means you can select the option of which text is visible. In that particular drop down, which text has been visible, you can select that particular text here. In the same way, you will be taking with in providing that particular index. You will be taking with in providing that particular respective of index here. Right? So which you will be providing that particular respective of index. After that, you will be taking with another option. That is, you will be taking with value. In simple, while working with the playwright, if you want to be get select any option from the drop down, we got a built-in method name. I mean predefined method name, that is select option. Select option of which option you want to select. First, you can provide visible text. That means the text which is visible for the user. Okay, if I'm taking with this particular option, visible text, this is the text which is visible for user. Okay, so the text which is visible for user. So whenever you are referring that particular drop down, so while referring that particular perspective of the drop down, see here. If I'm just taking with this particular perspective of drop down, whenever you have been selected that particular drop down, you will be able to see that particular text. This is visible. If I select other one, this is visible. So which text is visible for the user? I mean, you want to select, you need to mention that. That is one option. Another one, you will be taking with index. This is index of. Okay. So index of required option. Index of required value or option. Okay. So which need to be get provide that particular index. So as usual, index will be getting started from 0. Which index you want to select? Which index you want to be get selected? You need to be get go with that particular perspective of index here, which I will be taking with that particular perspective of index here, right? And after that, I will be taking with value, which I will be taking with that particular perspective of value. So if I'm taking with that particular perspective of value, this I will be mentioning that value attribute. Value attribute provided in HTML code. So in the HTML code, whatever that particular value attribute is available. So in the HTML code, whatever that particular value attribute is available, that it will be taking with these particular steps. So in that particular HTML code, whatever that particular attribute is provided, we can go with that particular perspective of value. So this is what we will be taking with. We can consider that option 1. In the same way, you will be taking with this particular option 2. Option 2, I will be mentioning that using click method for 2 times. The general concept. So that means, what is the meaning of this statement here? See that. First click activity, second click activity, first click activity, second click activity. So you're just taking with that particular one for 2 times here, which you will be taking with, you will be performing click activity for 2 times. So this is what you will be taking with this particular perspective of drop down. So while working that particular drop down, you got any 2 options here. One option you will be taking with, you will be mentioning that using select option as a predefined method. For that method, you need to be get provide the text. You can go with visible text, or you will be taking with the index, or you will be taking with that particular respective value. Okay. And then the meaning of visible text, the text which is visible for user. Meaning of that particular index, index of that particular required option. Value attribute provided in HTML code. Then you will be taking with the option 2, you will be mentioning that using click for 2 times. In the same way, we can go with that particular checkbox, or you can consider that you will be taking with radio button. Either you want to be get automate that particular check boxes and then taking with that particular radio button. So if I'm just taking with that particular check boxes or radio button, it will be mentioning that check method. It will be having the predefined method name. It will be taking with the check method and then it will be taking with uncheck method. So check method to get go with the clicking on the checkbox, uncheck to go with that particular uncheck here or otherwise it will be using click method only. So either the official predefined methods we got is check and uncheck method, along with that it will be taking with that particular click method only. So based on the tester comfortable, we can go with in utilizing any of these options here. As simple, the conclusion need to be get continued with automation. To just continue that particular automation, we can go with any of that particular step. We can utilize any of that particular options here. We can utilize. So we can get utilize any of that particular respective options here. So in this way, it will be taking with these particular respective steps here. So in this way, it will be taking with these particular respective of the steps here. Right? So this is what it will be working with this particular respective. Okay. So this is what it will be taking with this particular respective of drop down option, and then it will be taking with that particular check boxes, or it will be taking with that particular respective of radio button. It will be followed with that particular same thing here. Right? So let's see that how exactly we can get automate these particular test cases. So how exactly we need to be get automate these particular respective of test cases here. Okay, we got any test step. Test steps are there according to that particular test steps. According to that particular test step, we need to be get automate that particular steps here. Right? Okay. Let's see here. So as usual, it will be creating that particular new file, which it will be taking with that particular respective of new file, provide with the file name. PC underscore, it will be taking with dropdown dot spec dot ts. PC underscore dropdown dot spec dot ts. Okay. Now see the steps, how you will be able to continue as usual. First, we will be taking with test model. First, we are taking with that particular test model from the playwright. So by default, the statement is a common. Any test case you want to be get automate with that particular playwright. By default, it will be importing that particular model. Then you will be taking with test method. So as part of that particular test method, it will be taking with open that particular application. Then it will be taking with that particular enter username, and then it will be taking with password. So entering that particular username and password, it will be taking with, it will enter that particular username password. Then you will be taking with clicking on that particular login button. You need to begin click on that particular login button. Okay. So once you are taking with the login button, login has been completed. Now, see the concept. According to our knowledge, As part of we are working this application, this whole thing consider as a, what we are consider the whole highlighted one. Mhm. Please respond, guys. Please respond. Exactly. The table, okay, guys. Apart from that, we'll be considering that it will be taking with the frame, right? So, as part of our understanding, this whole thing has been designed as a frame. So, what drop down is available inside of the frame. If you want, we can cross check that, taking with the right click and then inspect. Okay. Inspect seeing with the tag name of iframe or frame. So the whole employee information is available in the frame. Because of that, if you want to be get perform anything, if you want to be get perform anything, then it will be taking with. If you want to be get perform anything, it will be taking with the help of that particular respective frame concept. So it is available in frame. We need to write in a code to enter into the frame. We got that particular frame ID. So we can take with that particular frame ID and need to be get enter into the frame. So here, once you done with the login, it will mention that enter into frame. Enter into frame. So how you will enter into the frame? We are already knowing it. That is what it will be taking with frame locator. It will be taking with frame locator. We are just taking with the frame equal to, we need to be get provide that particular respective of iframe. And then you will be taking with the at the rate id equal to id equal to, we need to be get provide that particular id. So now we got enter into the frame. So once we got enter into the frame, now you need to be get go with select drop down value. Select drop down value using, okay, select drop down value using visible text. Using visible text, which you will be taking with that particular option. So now you can see that it will be taking with frame locator, which you will be taking with frame locator. You need to be get go with in finding this particular drop down. So we got in a name, we got in a name option, we need to be get provide that particular name, which need to be get provide that particular name, and will be taking with that particular respective of at the rate. Okay. Once we got find with the drop down, in that particular drop down, you need to be get select that particular option. Whatever the option you want to be get selected, whatever, sorry, whatever the option you want to select, we need to be get select that particular visible text, that is employee ID. In the HTML code, how it is visible. In the HTML code, how exactly it has been visible, in the same way you need to be get provided in the HTML code, how exactly it is visible in the same way as it is, including that particular capital letter and then small letter, we need to be get provided, which you will be taking employee ID. So as it is, you will mention. Okay. So which will be taking with that particular respective of employee ID. Okay. So once you got selected, then you need to be get enter. You need to be get enter employee ID. Enter employee ID. Employee ID in that particular search for text box. Okay, let's see that. Let's go away in finding that particular object. So we got that particular name, location underscore name, location underscore name. Okay, we need to provide employee ID. What is employee number? 1510015. 10015. So need to be get provide that particular employee ID, which it will be providing that particular respective of employee ID. Okay. So that is what it has been mentioned. After that, you need to be get click on search button. You need to be get click on search button. So clicking on that particular search button, it will be taking with the click activity. Then you need to be get click on checkbox. You need to be get click on checkbox. It will be taking with that particular checkbox name or ID. Let's see that it will be taking with 10015. Okay. So here you need to be get find this particular checkbox. We got that particular name. So name is available. We need to be get provide that particular name. So we got that particular name. We need to provide it. Dot we got in a method name is check. You will have two methods. One is check method, another one uncheck method. See here, one it will be taking with check. Another one it will be taking with uncheck. So these are predefined methods here. We can go with these particular official methods. Otherwise, you can take with the help of that particular respective click method, which we can take with the help of that particular respective of click method. That is what it will be taking with these particular respective methods. So which you will be taking with this particular clicking on checkbox. And after that, once we got click on that particular checkbox, once we got click on that particular respective of the checkbox. Okay, so once we got click on that particular checkbox, then it will be taking with click on delete button. You need to be get click on that particular respective delete button. So clicking on that particular delete button. And after that, you need to be get go with click on log out option, which you will be taking with that particular click on log out option. Log out option. So that it will be taking with the click activity. So which it will be taking with log out completed. See that if I just go with the whole program. First we got imported test model. Once we import with the test model, we created test method. One test method is equal to one automation test case. And then you got open the application, enter the username, enter with the password, and then taking with this particular locator. Don't be confused here. I have not mentioned two forward slash. So here, if you are not mentioning that particular two forward slash, that is understanding like in a CSS. We can go with the XPath, we can go with the CSS, we can go with only name, we can go with only ID. Now this approach, what we have been written, it will be considered as a CSS. We can use any options here. Once you've done with the login, you enter into the frame. Once you enter into the frame, you are selecting employee ID. Selecting employee ID. Then enter employee ID. Then click on search button. Once you got click on that particular search button, you can click on the checkbox and then it will be taking with click on that particular delete button. Once you got click on the delete button, then it will be taking with. Once you got click on that particular delete button, it will be taking with these steps. Right. So once you have been click on that particular respective of delete button, it will be taking with clicking on that logout and then close application. So in this way, we can go with, it will be providing these particular respective steps here. Right? So this is what it will be mentioning that it will be taking with these particular respective steps. Now let's see how we can execute it. As usual, it will be taking with that particular command npx and then it will be taking with the playwright, it will be taking with the test. npx, it will be taking with the playwright test. TC underscore, it will be taking drop down dot spec dot ts. Then it will be taking with header. Let's see the execution. So as simple, we are understanding how exactly we can automate each and every individual functionality. Automating the text box, automating the button. So this particular drop down, employee ID selected, enter employee ID, click on search button, click on checkbox, click on delete. Now log out and close application. So we are just printing all that particular statements. So this is how you got an option in working with. This is how you got an option in which it will be taking with this particular respective of drop down and it will be taking with checkboxes. Don't be confused like you need to work with the combination of drop down checkbox always. As part of our program requirement, we have been done with this, both are individual. Okay. Now in this particular drop down, we done with the option of it will be taking with select drop down value using visible text. One option. Another option using it will be taking with index here, which it will be taking with that particular index. By taking with the index, you need to get select with the option. This is making in a comment section. Now we can see. If I'm taking with the index, first we are finding the drop down. Method name is select option only. Method name is select option only. You need to get provide that particular index here. So which I will be taking with the index. If I'm taking with the drop down, this is, if I'm taking the drop down, this is 0. Always index will start from 0. So always index will start from that it will be taking with, it will be having this particular one, which it will be taking with this particular one of 0, which it will be taking with this particular respective of 0. So now we require employee ID that it will be taking with 1. Will be taking employee ID. This is 0, this is 1. So we required an employee ID. you will be taking with the 1. So that you will mention that you will be taking with this particular perspective of 1. Okay. Then let's go with execution. See here, previously we done with visible text. Now we are working with index. Let's see the execution. So you are understanding. So how exactly we can go with these particular respective options here as part of that particular user comfortable, we can utilize any option. Now we can see here selected employee ID entering that particular employee ID. It will enter that particular employee ID. Click on the checkbox, click on delete, taking with the logout and close application. Right? Okay. Logout, it is giving error. Logout. Okay. That is wait statement only, no worries. So now see the concept. We got visible text and then we got index. Okay. Then we are having another option. Okay. So another option is which we will be mentioning that select drop down using value attribute. But what is the meaning of value attribute? The meaning of value attribute is value attribute provided in HTML code. So in the HTML code, you need to able to see the value attribute. So how you will be knowing that? You need to refer HTML code related to that particular drop down. You will be taking with the drop down, checking with the inspect. So here, if I'm referring with the HTML code, see here, we are able to see value attribute. Is that everyone able to see? All the online students. Is it everyone able to see value attribute? Attribute is nothing but equal symbol. Equal symbol is the attribute. That attribute name we got in a value. For employee ID, it is mentioned as a 0. For employee ID, it is mentioned as a 0. So we need to provide that particular value attribute as a 0. Now we can see here, it will be mentioning that it will be taking with this particular value, it will be taking with 0. Say the HTML code, in case of that particular value attribute is not available. In that particular HTML code, in case of value attribute is not available, then you will not be able to see. You will not be able to see that. You cannot work with this particular value attribute. Now we can see here, I'm just changing the employee ID. Now I'll go with in executing. So first we done with visible text, then we done with index. Now we are taking with value attribute. Let's see that either it will select or not. Employee ID is selected. Then entering with the text, click on the search and then click on the checkbox. Then taking with the logout and close application. So this is what you will be working with this particular perspective of drop down. So as simple, so how exactly we can go with in automating each and every particular functionality. It can be any application. Application can be anything. This is HR domain or banking domain, insurance domain, manufacturing domain, any kind of application, any kind of technology, You need to be get understand it. So how exactly you can get automate that particular individual functionalities. So that is what we are understanding how you can get automate all that particular individual functionalities here. So this is you will be taking with this particular respective of drop down and then taking with the checkbox. So we got an alerts, we got an frames, we got an mouse over, verification, test data, keyboard actions, drop down, checkbox. In the same way, we need to get understand that particular next concept. That is what we will be taking with wait statement. I mean, while working with the while working that particular playwright itself already it has been handling with the wait statement. But externally, if you want to be get handled with the wait statement, how exactly we need to handle it? That is what we have to discuss. Wait statement and then taking with file upload, how we can upload an file. So up to that, we will be taking medium level of the program, then we'll be taking with advanced program. So before moving into advanced program, first we need to be get comfortable with basic level and then medium level. Then it will be very easy to go with that particular advanced level of the programs here. So before that, just continue your regular practice here. So tomorrow I'll discuss wait statement that will create you some confusion again. So tomorrow I'll be discussing about wait statement and then file upload. So we have some more program. Tomorrow we'll try to complete all the medium level of the programs. Then we'll be getting started with advanced programs here. Okay? Clear everyone? Right. Any questions? You guys can carry on your questions. All right. No more other questions, right?
Yeah, hi sir.
Yes, Akhil. Yeah.
So, while using the keyboard action, so we can use tab as well as the keys at a time, right? Using the concatenation, is that possible in Playwright like Selenium?
Yes, you want to work with the combination of the keys, right?
Uh,
You can give in a plus symbol and you can mention.
okay, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one only. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, select by value. Can we give multiple? Can we do multiple selections? Why we are
No,
keeping it in curly braces then?
that should be application behavior. In an application, if we have an option of at a time selecting with the multiple options, then we can give in a comma in curly braces, we can provide it. If application behavior at a time only one value, then you will be providing only one value.
Okay,
Okay?
so the methods are same.
Yes, methods are same. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. No more other questions, right? Okay, then. Please take care of the regular practice, guys. You can come to the offline lab also. Always, it is suggestible you can come to the offline lab and then can take with the practice. Please spend with the more time into the practice. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.